All right, good morning, karibu sana. It is a feel-good Friday on Morning Cafe. My name is Freddy Ndimule, the 14th of November 2025. Mambo inaenda sambamba. 47 days to go to the end of the year, 41 days to Christmas. Inakwambia tukishafika 30 days to Christmas. Bas, automatic Christmas tree inapanda hapa.
It is World Diabetes Day. Hata kama tunasema it's feel good Friday, lazima tuangazie pia this day.
Ngoja kwanza ikae kwanza settle down.
It's World Diabetes Day, and this day, let me remind you, it's aimed to raise awareness of this common condition. Go blue to show your support and make lifestyle changes that improve your health on World Diabetes Day.
Yes, it is important to keep fit as well. Yes. For those who are sitting for the KCSE exams, today wanafanya biology paper 3. Hiyo ni ile practical paper. Wakimaliza hiyo hadi Monday.
Yes. Leo ni lab.
Hiyo ni lab. Leo ni lab. Unaweka ile nini pale na change color. Unaweka. Mimi nikisoma ilikuwa kitambo sana. Anyway, it is also being a feel good Friday. DJ Kicks will be here in the house. Do stand by for that later on. Let's take a look at the highlights on the dailies today. Bishops saying fix schools, crisis, hospital wars. And that's the main story there on the front page of the Daily Nation. Matters clerics and the clergy complaining.
All right. The Standard, truth to power, same headline.
Same thing. Serikali kibogoyo. Ndio habari kuu kwenye kurasa wa mbele wa Taifa Leo. I think we discussed this yesterday at length.
People Daily, the battle for crowds begins, but do cheers translate to votes?
Namuona pale William Ruto, the president, akikampeni kule Ukambani. It's the same story there on the front page of the Weekend Star. Ruto daring foray into opposition turf in two-term bid. Meanwhile, ODM bigwigs walifika Mombasa ahead of the celebrations, 20-year anniversary of the ODM party.
Finally, the Business Daily, SportPesa risks freeze in honest fresh battle.
All right. Today we change our approach to the discussions we usually have every Friday. Today we'll be talking about reclaiming cultural identity. And for that conversation, we'll be having Dr. Kiprop Lagat in studio. He is the Director of Culture, State Department for Culture, the Arts and Heritage. Just to understand how the government is actually approaching matters culture, and if at all it's of any benefit to anyone. Is there opportunity for employment for the youth as well? So that coming your way at around 7 a.m. this morning.
All right.
Tulikuwa tushasema Feel Good Friday. DJ Kicks ashafika, anaweka mitambo kwenye waya. Oh, it's a gospel edition today.
Edition.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And Bansi Kimuyu will be here. I'd want to see how Bansi dances to the gospel edition.
Because me, I can't.
Yeah, you just look like a nice church girl.
That's what I do every day.
All right.
Okay.
Vuke border tuingie Uganda. Daily Monitor.
In your face, fight to deface posters. Vandalism, posters of candidates from the ruling National Resistance Movement Party, the opposition and independents are being torn off, defaced or altogether pulled down in various parts of the country as the battle heats up for the January 15, 2026 election.
Hiyo ni kitu ya kawaida hata hapa Kenya. Ikifika wakati ya campaign, mimi nikikuja kuweka posta yangu natoa ya ule rival na ngoa naeka yangu.
Yes. Sasa hiyo ndio inaendelea kule Uganda at the moment. Other quick headlines here: diabetes prevalence in Uganda. It's World Diabetes Day once again. And in Uganda, they say the burden of diabetes has nearly doubled over the past decade, with prevalence rising from 1.4% in 2014 to 2.6% in 2023, according to data from the World Health Organization and the Ministry of Health. That is Uganda. And wametupatia hapo how it happens in various regions in northern, eastern, rural, urban and western areas of Uganda. Typo in USCE exam paper causes panic.
That's interesting. Yani ni kama KCSE upate typo. Alafu kuna ule mtu anajuanga hii swali ninaijua, because there are people who actually practiced on the questions themselves. Hapana, naambia hii na makosa. Hii swali si.
Hiyo ni kierere. On the top strip, can Museveni mend fences in Busoga after Kadaga's defeat? Is another story on page 10. That's the Daily Monitor.
Huyu Kadaga ni ule alikuwa anashindana na Anita Among. Akarusha huyu nje, Anita Among akachukua ile nini kwa chama. Sasa huko ataendaje na waling'oa huyu mama? All right, still in Uganda, take a look at the new vision. Kidney care, Uganda makes breakthrough. So today a lot of matters health given prominence on the front pages in Uganda. Patients are getting 90% cheaper dialysis procedure. That's in Uganda, that's impressive. Yeah. Pale chini campaigns continue. Museveni hold rallies in Budaka and Kibuku, na pale kona ile kama kawaida wanakujanga wanakuambia hata bila kusoma Chagulani, Mafabi and the other one told voters.
Muntu.
Muntu. Wako pale Chagulani, Muntu, Mafabi and what they told voters. That story is on page 5. Dr. Paula White, the Evangelist Ignites Leadership Conference. Schools order to hire procurement officers. Pale juu 5 pages of MPs district campaigns roundup. No, they actually take time. They're dedicating 5 pages to the campaigns for members of parliament. Yeah, not just the presidency. Yes. All right. And there's someone here called Brian White and his wife. They've been charged with human sacrifice.
Oh, wow.
That story is on page 8 of the New Vision in Uganda. Very strange things
happening.
Let's cross the border to Tanzania.
Gazeti la Mwananchi. Sura za Daktari Mwigulu, wadau wachambua uteuzi wake kwa mitazamo tofauti, huku wakiyataja yanayomkabili. Yeye atangaza nizama za fikeo na rato kwa watumishi, asema raia wote watasikilizwa kwa heshima. Huyu
ndio waziri mkuu sasa.
Waziri mkuu.
Aliteuliwa jana. Naitwa Daktari Mwigulu.
Mwigulu. Anasema Daktari Nchemba Mwigulu. Anasema Watanzania wa mazingira chini watasikilizwa kwa nidhamu katika ofisi za umma. Watahakikisha watumishi wanakwenda kutatua kero za wananchi katika maeneo yao. Lakini dira ya taifa ya maendeleo imebeba matumaini makubwa ya Tanzania na kazi kubwa. Wanasema tuendeni tukaisimamie. Kuna hii picha nyingine hapa, ni spika wa bunge Musa Zungu akionyesha bahasha yenye jina la waziri mkuu mpya baada ya kukabidhiwa na mpambe wa rais. Huku chini Daktari Mwigulu Nchemba akiwa amepigwa na butwaa baada ya jina lake kusomwa kwa ndiye amependekeza na Rais Samia.
Nataka kuniambia hapo anajua.
That's what I wanted to ask.
Ati unakaa tu hivyo unangojea but I'm the prime minister. Lakini nafikiri lazima alijua. Alikuwa na fununu.
Yeah. Presha ya hamia kwenye waziri wapya kuchomoza. You've been talking about this the whole week. Samia maybe akuje na ministers wake wapya. Mwinyi atangaza vita mpya ya kazi kule Zanzibar. Kule juu kisukari tishio, Tanzania ikitaja mikakati. Pia wanazungumzia diabetes. Na Daktari GOtv ateuliwa balozi amani kule UNPF. Habari nyingine katika ukurasa wa 19 gazeti hili.
Tukisalia kule Tanzania, gazeti la The Citizen lazungumzia same thing, the new prime minister. Ni kama hiyo gazeti imepotea, but they're talking about the new prime minister of Uganda still, of Tanzania, Dr. Nchemba Mwigulu, who was appointed yesterday, and going forward he'll be leading a lot of the government business in parliament in Tanzania. It is a main story there, and we'll be back to take a look at the local dailies in depth in a short while. For now, let's focus a bit on the weather situation across the country, and we start off with the Mount Kenya region. Leo tunaenda kule Meru. It appears it's a warm day today, 20 degrees currently, and it'll get to as high as 27 degrees. 20 degrees for Meru. This is Makueni. Ningeshanga. Makueni kule Ukambani. And President William Ruto continues with his tour of Ukambani region. Amesema ana camp huko. Aliuliza mama fulani kama anamjua, mama kasa misikujui. Unamwamini huyo? Utakosaje kujua rais?
Labda amjua jai. Ni kweli amjua jai muona.
Huyo mwenye alilipa huyo mama chunge sana. Unaweza jisema huyu na unamwambia kwa sura yake. Na umekuja mkutano ya rais alafu naambia mimi sikujui. Watu wana mchezo sana. So it's very hot in Ukambani region, a bit of precipitation expected in the morning hours up until noon, but after that, sunny intervals with a bit of cloud cover there. Let's get to the Mount Kenya region. I hope itakubali Meru today.
It's 16 degrees in Meru this morning, clear skies with periodic clouds. A little bit of precipitation here, lakini huku jua nasema it's 0%. So highs of 23 degrees in Meru. And kutoka pale saa 5 anasema likely kutoka na showers kidogo though.
All right. We go to the Central Rift Valley region in Nakuru. It is quite cold this morning at 13 degrees. Promises to be a cloudy day. Highs of 24 degrees in Nakuru, which is very comfortable weather. And this kind of weather will persist throughout the weekend. Very little chance of any precipitation in Nakuru this week. And the temperatures might get a bit higher. Ile weekend ingine, lakini for now, wako tu sawa kule Nakuru. Further north, Marsabit.
It's 22 degrees this morning in Marsabit. It's a partly cloudy day. Highs of 30 degrees. No precipitation here. Kama nasema ni 5%. Yeah, kuna labda Sunday there will be something there. Lakini it's a hot day in Marsabit today.
All right. Tumeangazia Makueni, tuende kule Mombasa, where a lot of focus will be as the ODM party celebrates its 20 years anniversary, and these celebrations continue up until Sunday. So it is quite warm this morning, 26 degrees. It will get as high as 30 degrees. They say it's a cloudy day, but not much precipitation. Kidogo tu saa hii asubuhi, ile unasikia dot hivi unashangaa ni nini. Kuna mtu anamwagia maji lakini inapotea hivyo. Yes. This kind of temperature will continue throughout the weekend and into next week. Highs of 30. Na ni kama itakuwa ina change. Highs of 30, lows of 26. Highs of 30, lows of 26. All the way mpaka next weekend. That's Mombasa.
All right. In Kisumu, it's 21 degrees. Yes, Sahi, it's very hot. It's a cloudy day. It feels like 24 this morning. Highs of 28 degrees. Precipitation in Kisumu, yeah, kidogo. They say it's 10%.
Masaa ya jioni.
Masaa ya jioni kule. That's Kisumu.
Finally, Nairobi. Fairly warm day today, 16 degrees currently. It will get as hot as 25 degrees. It's a mostly cloudy day, a bit of precipitation throughout the day with the sunny intervals, especially in the mid-afternoon, about 2 to 3 p.m. This will continue into the weekend, highs of 26 degrees and into next week as well. So yes, it is getting warmer in the city. Mvua ni kama imepotea kwa maeneo mengi. So let's take a look at the traffic situation at exactly 11 minutes past 6. Jana tuliona ni kama traffic haikuwa nyingi. Remember, with the schools having closed and us getting to the weekend, there will be a lot of travel beginning this weekend as many parents ship their children to the rural areas, to the countryside, waende wakae huko waache kusumbua watu hapa Nairobi. So unaona, further pale, already kuna problem. Just after that interchange at the former Taj Mall, there's a long stretch of red as you head towards Donholm roundabout. Pale Pipeline, further and Tasia, kuna shida pale. Once you get to Jogoo Road, it's not so bad today. Just a bit of a stretch pale Makadara. After that, it's green all the way. At City Stadium roundabout, it's green. Machakos bus station is green. Pale Mudhurwa. But once you get to the Haile Selassie Avenue, areas around Railways bus station and Marikiti are getting busy. The other place ni pale Pangani interchange. It's building up slowly kama kawaida, nothing out of the ordinary. Thika Road, further up north, not bad at all. Green all the way from Ruiru. Same thing for Kiambu Road as well. Kwani watu wakienda Mombasa huwa wajazi barabara? Because hii barabara inakuanga tu green throughout. Kwani wako na expressway mpaka Mombasa. But anyway, the main, that's the main road, A104. It's smooth all the way through Nairobi. These are the roads on this other side of town. Kama kawaida zinakuanga green. Siku ile zitakuwa red, nitawaambia.
All right, let's have the quote of the day.
You can help what you feel, but you can help how you behave.
All right, viongozi wa makanisa wamezungumza, and that is what features on the front pages of our local dailies. Let's come back and take a look at that. And I can already anticipate the number of press conferences that people will call just to call out church leaders and tell them, oh, nyinyi sasa mnazungumza, oh, kwa nini mnasema hivi, oh, mbona mnaongea vibaya, Lakini hayo ni baadaye. Kwa sasa viongozi wa makanisa wameongea. And on the front page of the Daily Nation, we have a picture there of Catholic clerics, Catholic bishops yesterday, when they gave President William Ruto's government a pat on the back for what it is doing right, including the stable shilling and new roads. They've been fair. The shilling is stable. Kuna barabara mpya mmejenga. But also took stock of issues that are still problematic, such as rampant corruption and the hurried cyber crimes law. So bishops are saying, fix the schools crisis and hospital wars. Clerics warn faith-based health facilities may shut down due to NHIF debts. And you see, they've been complaining about this for a very long time. The kind of debts owed to many hospitals, from the defunct NHIF. The bill was about 30 billion shillings. Now, most of those hospitals are run by the Catholic Church in various parts of the country. Now, the Catholic Church is saying, okay, mukikosa kutulipa, tutashindwa kufanya hii kazi. Sasa mnataka tufanye nini? Tutatoa wapi pesa? Tushafanya kazi, simulipe tu tuendelee. So this is a Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, Vice Chairperson, the Most Reverend Anthony Muheria, addressing a media briefing at the Donham Day Spirituality Center in Karen yesterday, where the bishops outlined the successes and failures of the Kenya Kwanza administration. And the chairman, Most Reverend Maurice Mohatia, was there, as well as the Reverend Philip Anyolo and other bishops. So the scorecard, according to the Catholic bishops, the good ongoing recruitment of 24,000 teachers by TSC, the stable shilling, ile IMF wali complain. IMF walisema, kwa nini hiyo shilling yenyu ni stable? Wakati wanauliza, okay, sasa mnataka ikuwe unstable ndiye fanye nini? Investments in infrastructure, especially roads, wamesema hiyo ni sawa, construction of TVET colleges, but the bad, Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act, CBE implementation. Yesterday we saw that publishers for grade 10 textbooks walisema watoi sababu hamjalipa. Schools running in crisis mode due to delayed funds, maswala ya capitation, SHA, of course, rampant corruption in public offices, slow responses to natural calamities like the recent landslides. That is what the Catholic bishops said. Other quick highlights on the front page of this paper: Mama Ida Odinga takes a break, after a short break since Raila's death, and she's been receiving visitors from that day one till today. She's mourning, yes, but she's been receiving these visitors on a daily basis. She's not gotten a break.
No time to mourn.
No time to mourn.
You're smiling all the time.
Sasa amesema kidogo tu. That story is on page 3. First short break since Raila's death. Other stories, of course, ODM at 20 is a big story, and it's there on page 3. On page 2, and this I think is growing into a very big discussion about this fertility law, ile ya surrogacy. It's a big discussion about it inaendelea hapo. On page 2 they talk about why you'll be jailed for 10 years and pay 10 million shillings fine if legislators pass that law. Yeah, it's a very serious one. Yes. On the back page, Stars play vastly improve Equatorial Guinea in Turkey. Kenya is marking start of AFCON 2027 preparations with friendly match. Whether or not qualify, we are the hosts. AFCON 2027. And that's the Daily Nation.
All right, tukisonga to the Standard, Truth to Power is the main headline here. The clergy are on the warpath from Nairobi to Meru and now Kisumu. Church leaders have unleashed a searing rebuke of President William Ruto's administration, accusing it of presiding over a sick nation, quote unquote, crippled by corruption, punitive laws and collapsing systems. Leading the charge, Kisumu's Anglican Bishop Charles Onginjo tore into the regime's theatrics and a whole of promises to Nyanza, warning deceit and greed are strangling the country's moral core. Now, he accused President Ruto of hoodwinking the community with token appointments and likened local leaders to choirs cheering for positions instead of services. Now, Reverend Philip Anyolo is quoted here. Alikuwa anasema, despite frequent public outcry and our repeated calls in the past several years, we continue to witness that massive corruption in government goes on unabated. We cannot condemn corruption publicly while tolerating it publicly. Integrity must be lived. That is Reverend Philip Anyolo. Archbishop Anthony Muheria, we ask that the matter of huge uncleared NHIF dues be fast-tracked and paid by the government. Many faith-based hospitals are on the brink of closing due to unpaid claims. Debts owed to faith-based hospitals in huge billions of shillings by SHA and NHIF are crippling the health institutions, to say the least. And Reverend Nicholas Mutiri of NCCK anasema majority of the residents are unhappy and feel poorer than they were 1 year ago. They feel that the country is heading in the wrong direction and are deeply troubled about the rising cost of living and unemployment. Ameambiwa choirs cheering for positions instead of service. This story is on page 2 and 3 of the Standard. how outspoken clerics checked the executive and shaped politics.
I like that what the Standard has done is that church leaders spoke yesterday at very different forums in Kisumu, in Nairobi. So they went beyond that and brought how the church has historically been telling of the government, with Ndingi Mwana Anzeki there.
As they say, men of cloth are credited with helping enact the progressive 2010 constitution, but somehow along the way, clerics have been accused of, what is it called? Courting to the executive. East Africa's democracies unravel as leaders turn to armies for political shield. Again, Nicholas Oyo and Bob Njagi, and on page 8 of this newspaper. Waititu Wars mount as properties risk auction in a 40 million shillings loan dispute.
Anyway.
There's an interesting one on page 12. Half of all parastatal jobs in the country held by 3 communities. 3.
I know those communities.
Wako hapa, wametajwa hapa, nitawatajia. They say Kikuyu, Kalenjin and Luo.
Hapo ndio shida iko ya hii nchi. Wana control.
Sasa ndio mjajisikia? Yani wivu. Sindio? Yani wivu.
Acha ninyamaze sababu mtaanza kusema ati kabila nini. Ni ukweli.
And they say overall there are 299 parastatals which have employed about 146,000 Kenyans. Lakini 3 communities leading.
Ndio wamejaa huko.
On the back page, Kenyan federations urged to embrace science ahead of LA 28. That's the Standard.
From the Standard, let's take a look at Taifa Leo. Serikali kibogoyo ndo habari kuu kwenye ukurasa wa mbele wa gazeti hili. Wanasema viongozi wa kisiasa nchini wanajitokeza kama wasiojali usalama wa raia, huku wakisalia kimya, wa Kenya wakiumia ugenini. Ni habari tumekuwa tukizungumzia hapa kwa muda sasa. Pia kumekuwa na vitisho kutoka kwa nchi jirani kuhusu masuala yanayoweza kuvuruga uhusiano mwema wa kidiplomasia. Rais wa Uganda Yoweri Museveni ndiye kiongozi wa hivi punde zaidi kudhalilisha Kenya na hata kutishia vita, huku serikali ikionekana kutochukulia swala hilo kwa uzito. Alisema hata hiyo ocean ni yake.
He is entitled.
Lakini mbona tu ni Kenya, because they also have access to Tanzania. Mbona anazungumzia tu Kenya? Si apitie Tanzania, I think they even have a longer coastline. Mbona tu Kenya? Mamia wajakazi wameuawa Uarabuni, wanaharakati wakiteswa Tanzania na Uganda, serikali ikijitia hamnazo. Hawa kina Bob Njagi, watetezi wa haki za kibinadamu Nicholas Oyo na Bob Njagi walizuiliwa kule Uganda na wakasema ati nini, walikuwa kwenye friji. Huyu mwingine mwanaharakati Boniface Mwangi akiwa ndani ya ambulance katika uwanja wa ndege wa Wilson mnamo Mei 22 mwaka huu baada ya kuteswa nchini Tanzania. Na haya yote yakitendeka, serikali iko kimya. Vidokezo zaidi, auawa kwa deni la shilingi 50 na rafikie. Jacob Maina aliaga dunia papo hapo baada ya kuvamiwa na kudungwa kisu.
50 bob.
Shilingi 50. Magavana waanikwa kwa ukabila, ni vigumu kwa watu wasiotoka kaunti za Bomet, Kirinyaga, Samburu kuajiriwa huko. Well, ni ukweli. Kir hachoki kutimua, afuta naibu. Rais wa Sudan Kusini atimua naibu wake gavana wa benki kuu na mkuu wa ukusanyaji ushuru. Ule aliyekuwa naibu wake amekuwa under house arrest for a very long time. Anaitwa Riek Machar. Sasa ametimuliwa. Pale juu, askofu ashambulia ODM vikali, akashifu ushirikiano wa ODM na utawala wa Rais Ruto, huku chama hicho kikisherehekea miaka 20. Fataki Poland, Uholanzi wakivaana. Uholanzi walenga kuendeleza ubabe wao dhidi ya Poland. Masuala ya spoti, gazeti la Taifa Leo.
People Daily, the battle for crowds begins but do cheers translate to votes. So wanasema clicks versus votes. Wanafanya hii analysis on page ndani ya newspaper. It's there. The battle for crowds begins but do cheers translate to votes. Na wamekuwa accused paying the crowd to be there time and time again. Akiita, akienda campaign or to do empowerment. Not necessarily campaigns. Siseme anaenda campaign.
Now the question is, okay, fine, they may not necessarily translate to votes, but public perception does matter as well. So, tukiwa mahali alafu kuna watu wengi wanakuja wanapigwa picha kama hii kwa ukurasa wa mbele, watu wanasema huyo jamaa anaelewa Kenya anafanya. Lakini angekuwa tu anapita na hakuna watu wataanza kusema ni kama kwa hafifu kiasi. So battle for crowds begins. It's true. It may not necessarily translate into votes, but perception does matter.
Ukambani at crossroads, power, loyalty and the politics of change.
Niliona watu wakiuliza because what happens is that President William Ruto on his 4 days tour of Ukambani is touring different counties, and every county he goes to, the governor and all the governors from Ukambani are from the Wiper party, have been there to welcome him and sing his praises. So watu wanasema muna hakika watu hawako na huyu jamaa. Ukambani at crossroads.
All right. Kuleju, why Trans Nzoia could define Kenya's 2027 presidential race? Trans Nzoia, that's the reason on page 8. Last week walikuwa nazungumzia, there's somebody, was it Wamalwa?
Wamalwa,
this week, it was this week.
Wakisema anaweza vuka kwa upande ule mwingine. Same story there on the front page of the Weekend Star. Ruto daring foray into opposition turf in two-term bid. Yes, he's been in Ukambani for the past 2 days. I think he continues with another 2 days there before he goes to Mombasa to attend the ODM At 20 celebrations. So president here in daredevil move woos Kalonzo and Gachagua support bases. Namkumbuke bado kuna campaigns za by-elections. By-elections today being the 14th, that means 13 days, less than 2 weeks to the day. It's big news there. ODM bigwigs arrive in Mombasa ahead of 20th Fit. Walitumia SGR jana, wakapiga kelele kwa hiyo gari ya moshi, wakapiga kelele. Ule Makoure Kasmuel alikuwa anapiga tarumbeta. So yes, a lot of celebrations in Mombasa. ODM supporters at Nairobi Standard Gauge Railway Terminus on Thursday. ODM members Rosa Buyu, Junet Mohammed, Gladys Wanga arriving at the SGR terminus. Deputy Party Leader Abdul Swamad Nasser and other members joining traditional dancers at Mombasa SGR terminus on Thursday to welcome the party leadership. So a lot of focus, they're turning Mombasa orange this weekend. NCIC sounds alarm over emerging online gangsters fueling fresh radicalization. That's a big one on page 2 of this paper. And KNH murder suspect mentally unfit to stand trial. That's a story on page 3. Kalonzo faces tough hurdles in campaign to inherit Raila base. That's inside the Siasa pullout, because this is the Weekend Star. It has a Siasa pullout pale. Na kwingineko, lured by promises how Kenyans are sold into slavery. A lot of questions being asked about the capacity and capability or the response that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has had on the various issues affecting Kenyans outside Kenyan borders. So that's a story on page 6 of this paper. The Weekend Star. Fresh, independent, different. Grab yourself a copy. 60 bob, unapata hii gazeti.
All right. Finally, Business Daily, SportPesa risks a freeze in Honor's fresh battle. They say the valuable SportPesa gaming trademark faces a legal challenge after a fresh suit was filed in court alleging fraudulent transfer of the brand ownership, tax evasion and forgery. Now, businessman, that is Paul Ndungu, has asked the High Court to issue orders stopping Milestone Games, which is associated with his former partners turned rivals, from using the SportPesa trademark pending the determination of the matter. The story is on page 2. It says Ndungu wants Milestone denied SportPesa brand and court told the gaming trademark transferred fraudulently. On the ticker, Kenya pipeline to set up oil spillage dams to avert disasters, and Cooperative Bank declares first interim dividend as net profit hits 21 billion shillings. That's the Business Daily. Kuleju, there's something, an NSSF investment in Mau Summit Toll Road could redefine how Kenya's pension savings are harnessed for growth. That is according to Jaindi Kisero and page 1.
So those are the local dailies. A lot of talk from the clerics and a bit of politics, crowds and the president in Ukambani and elsewhere. Just a reminder that today we will not be having the youth perspective, but we'll be having a discussion on reclaiming cultural identity in Kenya. And for this conversation, Dr. Kiprop Lagat, who's the Director of Culture, State Department for Culture, the Arts and Heritage, will be in studio starting at 7 a.m. Do stand by for that. Being a Feel Good Friday, DJ Kicks will be having a gospel edition here. Now once again, nataka kuona Bansi Kimuya atafanya nini kwa gospel edition leo. It is a feel good Friday. Tuangazie karakacha, tuone wachoraji kwenye magazeti wamechora nini leo, wanasema nini. Hapa kuna cartoon on the Star.
Kuna mtu ako kwa backyard ya mwingine, campaigning. That is President William Ruto in his campaign vehicle. Pale backyard ya Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, lakini anashangaa sana, ni kama anafanya calculation.
Anamchungulia kutoka kwa dirisha. Angalia hiyo shati kwanza. Hii shati yake iko na watermelon, lakini tulisema jamaa si watermelon siku hizi.
Siku hizi amekuwa teased.
Mbona unafanya hivi? Huyu cartoonist wa The Star. Mbona unamrudishia hiyo jina na alisema si yeye.
That's the Star.
That's the Star. Ile gazeti ya Citizen ilikuwa imepotea ndio hiyo. Ni sawa. Tushasonga. ODM at 20. Hapa kuna ni punda ama ni farasi sasa. Amekaliwa lakini huyu kuna vichwa viwili vimeangalia opposite directions. Kuna upande mmoja a caricature of the president pulling that horse in that direction and quite a number of people facing that direction as well. But the horse is also heading in a different direction with people like Babu Owino, James Orengo, Edwin Sifuna na wengineo wanasema twende upande huu. So ODM at 20. Naangalia both sides. That's a Daily Nation.
The Standard, again, yesterday they called the Prime Cabinet Secretary weak-kneed diplomat. Leo wamevua hiyo
leo suruali imeanguka
diplomacy.
Imeanguka
chini. Foreign Affairs anasema chonjo lakini diplomacy imeanguka.
Sio sisi, huyu ni mchoraji
The Standard.
Wa karakacha kule Standard. And finally People Daily, Star no. Anasema hapa between the youth, watu wanang'ang'ania the youth vote. Opposition upande mmoja, serikali upande mwingine. Wote wanasema I have good plans for you in 2027. The youth pale amefinywa kweli kweli, atakubali upande gani. So those are the cartoons and the big discussions on the dailies. Today we may not be able to revisit some of these stories. We'll be talking matters culture later on. But you can interact with us through our social media pages.
TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube. On X, TV47 Digital. My handle on X is at @An_Odida. The hashtag is Morning Cafe TV47.
My handle on X is at Freddy Demoli. See you after the break.
No more excuses. It's time to rise, grind, and own your mornings. Join Coach Shadrach Omer every Monday to Friday from 5:30 to 6 a.m. only on TV47. Full body workouts, zero equipment, maximum results. Start strong, stay strong. TV47 Fitness with Coach Shadrach only on TV47. Looking for the perfect way to kick off your weekend?
Pole. Hiyo ni salamu ya Mluya kabisa.
Tune in to Friday with Betty, the most exciting show on TV.
Betty, one tear gas. Betty, I don't know where this guy's going.
Walikutoka.
From the latest news and trends to unforgettable moments.
Hiyo naona nakubali.
Wewe ni simpa.
Friday with Betty is your go-to show for a fabulous Friday night.
Meteorologist. What is that word, Willis?
Tune in this and every Friday at 9 p.m. and let's make your Fridays unforgettable. Only on TV47. Enjoy uninterrupted live streaming of your favorite programs on TV 47 and Radio 47 on the go with our new mobile-friendly website. Experience the future of broadcasting. Visit www.tv47.digital or scan this QR code and stream your way to endless news and entertainment. Welcome to the home of untold stories.
This is Kenya's #1 talk show, Dr. Ferike tonight. My name is the Eagle himself. Dr. Ferike is my name.
We are flipping the script, but guess what? Or should I say, guess who is taking over tonight's show?
Ani wewe furahia umekaa na kasukuru.
CP unit ni Punet. Ni Punet. Punet. So you guys knew about... Piga. Sawa basi. Nasema, hata ungehivi the whole time.
I don't want to go back to brokenness.
Never.
I just love the high life. Siwezi taka kuimagine ati nimesota.
You'll have to watch to find out. Tune in every Wednesday from 7:30 p.m.
Next time you need fresh lemon juice, microwave a lemon for 7 to 10 seconds. Then roll the lemon back and forth under your palm on the counter. When you squeeze, you'll get more juice from the lemon with way less effort.
Start your day with Relationship Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. with Ann Odida. Dive deep into the dynamics of love, friendship, and family as we explore the stories that shape our connections. Then satisfy your appetite with Tasty Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. where Anne serves up delicious recipes, cooking tips, and the latest food trends to inspire your next meal. Relationship Wednesday and Tasty Wednesday every Wednesday.
Let's take a look at some quick news updates. The Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, KCCB, has expressed concern over several new government laws and policies, warning that some could erode civil liberties, weaken social safety nets, and diminish public confidence in governance. The clergy is now urging Parliament and the Executive to review the statutes to ensure they remain people-centered and protect citizens' rights. Now take a look.
The Holy Spirit. Amen. Glory be to the...
The Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops has raised alarm of what it terms the hurried enactment of a Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act and the Land Amendment Act No. 21 of 2025. In a statement on Thursday, the bishops urged the government to review the laws and ensure meaningful public participation to prevent the possible abuse of civil liberties. The bishops further cautioned that the enactment laws without adequate public input risk eroding confidence in government institutions, calling for a review of contentious clauses and greater clarity on who the laws are meant to target.
Every single citizen, whether in government, faith leadership, education, business, or at home, must act decisively to reject unethical and corrupt actions.
Turning to education, the bishops criticized the pace and manner of ongoing reforms, accusing the government of rolling out changes without proper stakeholder engagement. They pointed to frequent curriculum shifts, delaying funding to schools, and confusion over the management of the junior secondary education, warning that the reforms appear driven more by political expediency than the welfare of learners and teachers.
The rationale, choices, and general development of the CBC that has now taken the CBE tag have been without clear guidance to the teachers, parents, and students. This is a risk to the future of the children going through a system with no clear end and expectation.
In a season of laws, bills, and reforms, the bishops are reminding the state that not every gospel needs amendment.
I'll read.
Faith Wangari for TV 47 Nairobi.
Hapa ndipo. Good morning Fred Ndubuli.
Good morning Mwashumbe.
Uko sawa?
Kabisa.
TV inasema namna gani?
Kule TV leo tunazungumzia culture.
Okay.
Tumezungumzia magazeti lakini tutarudi kuzungumzia culture.
Okay.
Yes.
Uko katika TV leo?
Katika TV.
Culture as in
culture, tuko na director wa culture and arts from the State Department for Culture and Arts. So tunazungumzia matters cultures pale vile.
Yeah. Alright.
Lakini magazeti mambo ni tofauti na ni mengi.
Maana na cheki pale gazeti la The Standard linasema truth to power. Kwani kitu gani kinaendelea hapa?
Hapa viongozi wa makanisa jana walitokelezea. Na ni wengi hapa Nairobi kulikuwa na viongozi wa kanisa Katoliki.
Ndio.
Kule Kisumu kiongozi wa kanisa cha Anglican pia akazungumza.
Ndio.
So unaona magazeti yote mawili, kuna Anglican Archbishop hapa kwenye ukurasa wa mbele wa Standard. Ukiangalia Daily Nation ni mabishop wale wa Catholic.
Ndio.
Wote wanazungumzia masuala tofauti. Wanasema kwa upande mmoja kama wale wa Katoliki wanasema kwa upande mmoja serikali imejaribu.
Okay.
Shilingi ni stable, ile currency.
Ndio.
Wanasema kuna recruitment of teachers, hiyo ni sawa. Wanasema kuna infrastructure, mabarabara yanatengenezwa hapa na pale na TVET colleges hapa na pale. Lakini bado kuna shida.
Okay.
Wanasema kwanza mahospitali yao
ndio
ambayo unajua kuna zile Catholic run hospitals ni mengi
and schools
ni
also
mengi sana
ndio,
na wanasema bado kuna deni kubwa kutoka kwa NHIF.
Right.
About 30 billion shillings kulikuwa na deni jalipwa sasa.
Exactly.
Wanasema pesa nyingi ni zinafaa kuenda kwa zile hospitali za Katoliki. Na wasipolipa basi hospitali hizi zinashindwa kufanya kazi. So wanasema serikali ijaribu
ilipe haraka.
Lipa.
Because na check scorecard pale vile katika gazeti la Daily Nation unasema the good things, ongoing recruitment of 24,000 teachers by TSC. Hiyo unasema tick kulingana na watumishi wa Mungu kutoka Katoliki pale vile. Alafu unasema stable, the shilling is stable. Alafu unasema kwamba investment in infrastructure, special roads pale vile pia unapatia serikali pia tick. Wanasema good work pale vile, construction of TVETs and colleges wanasema pia tick. That is the good thing. And then the bad thing wanasema pale vile Computer Misuse and Cyber Crimes Act. Hiyo pia kidogo wanaona kwamba wako na shida nayo. Section that need imeharakishwa sana pale vile. Kitu kingine pia wanazungumzia kuhusiana pia na CBE.
CBE unajua the very first cohort wale wa kwanza kabisa kuingia high school wanaingia January, lakini by yesterday hata wale publishers wa zile textbook walikuwa wanasema hawajalipwa na wasipolipwa hawata publish zile vitabu, so watoto wataingia senior school kufanya kusoma nini.
Kwa hivyo ni grade 9 and grade 10.
Grade 10 sasa
hawajachapisha
bado because wanakuwa owed pesa za miaka ingine, na bado kuna zile pesa za capitation.
Mimi naulizaje?
Pesa za capitation mashule bado hawajapata, shule zishafungwa.
Okay. Mimi naulizaje? Si tukiwa tunatengeneza bajeti, kila wizara inakuwa na bajeti yake.
Well, bajeti iko.
Sasa mbona pesa itumiki kama bajeti iko?
Kwanza education inapata about 700 billion shillings kwa kila budget. Hata ya mwaka huu 700 billion shillings. Lakini bado capitation shule nyingi hazijapata hizo fedha.
Bodi ilikuwa ni buku the vile pia nikicheki story nyingine pia ni kwamba Mama Aida it takes first short break since Raila death pale vile.
Yes.
Maana unajua tena amekwepo yuko sana Kango Kajaramogi pale vile.
Unakumbuka tangu siku ya kwanza tulipata habari za kifo cha Raila Odinga.
Ndio.
Tarehe 15 mwezi uliopita. Watu walienda wapi kwanza? Karen. Mama Aida Odinga alikuwa pale kuwakaribisha. Kutoka hapo nini tukamsumbua kila siku. Sasa Bondo kuanzia siku hiyo kila siku hata kukosa kuruka hata siku moja. Wageni wanafika pale. Na lazima kuwe pale wakaribishe. Sasa amesema kidogo tu mnikubalie. Imekuwa ni mwezi mmoja. Acha ni take break kidogo, alafu maybe nitarudi. Kumbuka washabook the entire of this year up until January December 29th. Wageni washabuku wanaenda Bondo.
Kango Kajaramogi.
Kango Kajaramogi. So mama amesema acha nipumzike kidogo na narudi.
Mimi naona it's okay. Achukue break kidogo, unajua tena pia yuko na nyumba pia Nairobi pia. Angalie kuku namna gani na shughuli zingine. It's okay mom. Take a break kidogo and then you'll go back, uendelee kuchukua kukaribisha wageni.
Habari nyingine kubwa sasa ni ODM at 20.
Okay.
Mombasa imekuwa orange kabisa. Everything in Mombasa is now orange. Jana walipanda SGR, walikuwa wanapiga tu tarumbeta kwa train. Kutoka hapa Nairobi, viongozi wote wa ODM sasa wameshafika kule Mombasa ahead of the 20th anniversary celebrations. Zilianza jana, leo zinaendelea, kesho inafika kileleni Sunday.
Okay.
Alafu President William Ruto atakuwa wapi?
Hapo.
Na viongozi wengine pale. Wewe unaenda?
Na sitaenda, mimi nitakuwa kazini pale vile. Mimi sitaenda upande wa Mombasani. Lakini kuna yale pia nazungumziwa pia kuhusiana pia na Mheshimiwa Rais pia kwenda katika ile hafla. Ushona, wadadisi katika masuala kisiasa pia wanaisoma kivyao. Kuna wale wanasema kwamba itakuwa pia ni njia rahisi ya kuchukua pia the strongholds hayati Raila Amolo Odinga. Do you think so?
Unajua kwanza one of those strongholds ni Ukambani, ambapo rais sasa amekuwa 4-day tour ya all the counties za Ukambani. Anakubaliwa na anakaribishwa na governors wote, na governor ni wa wapi? Ni wa Wiper Party. Alafu akimaliza hapo anaenda Mombasa.
Ndio.
Chama cha ODM pale kinamkaribisha pale. Wote hawakuwa naye mwaka wa 2022. Lakini wote this past week
wako ndani pale vile. Na kuna story pia ambayo umesema, kwa sababu umeleta historia ya tour yake upande wa Ukambani, ya kwamba kwa hivi sasa ni kana kwamba maybe Kalonzo pia anajaribu kurushwa mahindi hapa na pale na Wamalwa pia. Kini vipi Kalonzo atakubali kumeza mahindi round hii?
Kuna cartoon moja nafikiri iko kwa Star. The president amekuwa caricature dako kwa gari pale juu kama kawaida, lakini Kalonzo anachungulia kwa dirisha. Ashangaa huyu jamaa anafanya nini huku kwetu? But ile swali watu wengi wanauliza ni
ndio,
lakini inaweza kuwa ni a bit of confusion, sababu magavana wote wa county za kule Kitui, Makueni, Machakos na wapi kwingine, kuna county nyingine huko kwao, wote wanakaribisha rais.
Makueni, Kitui
na kuna nyingine huko zimeisha.
Ni Machakos County, Makueni County na Kitui County.
Wote ni wa Wiper. Na wote wamekuwa hapo kumkaribisha rais.
Sasa wafanye vipi? Na unajua tena the county government has to work with the national government.
Unajua wakipigwa picha ako pale wanaonyesha rais, unajua ndio barabara, unaona pale juu kuna nini, ukiona ule Mutula Junior akifanya hivyo watu wanafikiria ni kama Wiper, ni kama washaanza kucross. Hapana, governor lazima afanye kazi. Serikali kuu
pigo tena zaidi. Taifa Leo pia wanasema kwamba serikali kibogoyo. Serikali kibogoyo, na wanasema kwamba viongozi wa kisiasa nchini wanajitokeza kama wasiojali usalama wa raia, huku wakisalia kimya, Wakenya wakiumia ugenini. Pia kumekuwa na vitisho kutoka kwa nchi jirani kuhusu masuala yanayoweza kuvuruga uhusiano mwema wa kidiplomasia. Rais wa Uganda Yoweri Museveni ndio kiongozi wa hivi punde zaidi kudhalilisha Kenya na hata kutishia vita, huku serikali ikionekana kutochukulia swala hili kwa uzito.
Unajua habari hii na tumezungumzia kwa muda sasa.
Ndio.
Baada ya uchaguzi kule Tanzania kumetokea vurugu, lakini Wakenya wengi sasa wanasema wakiwa Tanzania wanakuwa targeted simply because hao ni Wakenya. Hata kama uko huko kufanya biashara unaambiwa wewe ni Mkenya, jela. Alafu sasa kuna wale mpaka waliuawa kule. Kuna wale wa harakati wa human rights kule Uganda walikuwa kwa friji. Alafu serikali ya Kenya haizungumzii hayo. Serikali ya Kenya wamekuwa wapole sana. Kwanza Foreign Affairs Ministry ya Mudavadi. Sasa juzi,
so mnataka Mudavadi amwambie nini Museveni?
Ulisikia Museveni akisema ati Indian Ocean ni yake. Anataka hiyo Indian Ocean. Akasema hapa very soon kutakuwa na vita.
Ndio. Kwani mnataka sasa Mudavadi mwambie wewe Museveni Indian Ocean si yako bwana? Mbona unatoka ukiongea ama mnataka Mudavadi afanye nini?
Kuna kitu inaitwa protest note. Na hiyo inakuanga ni kitu moja tu, haina masuala mengi na haina hasira mingi. Inaitwa tu protest note. Kutoka kwa Foreign Affairs Ministry kwenda kwa nchi nyingine, inasema hapa mambo yenyewe yamefanyika, si hatukubaliani nayo. Na kama ulisema hivi pia sisi hatukubaliani nayo. Suluhu Hassan alisema nini? Wale wanaleta vurugu hapa Tanzania ni nani? Ni Wakenya ama wametoka kule kwingine. Hakuna mtu anazungumza Kenya.
Ndio mimi nasema aje, Mbona rais pia mwenyewe amenyamaza? Maana unajua tena rais kwa rais wakijibizana inakuwa ni vizuri. Nilikuwa na expect maybe pia rais pia vile vile pombe Museveni wewe.
Maana
unakuja sana.
Serikali kibogoni.
Okay.
Mnanyamaza. Habari ndio hiyo.
Katika dondoo za Taifa Leo, kabla nikuachilie uende pale vile, kuna story ambayo inasema buda aliyevalisha paka mikufu na pete za dhahabu atengwa.
Atengwa na nani?
Atengwa na jamaa mtaani pale vile.
Hata mimi ndakutenga ukifanya kitu kama hivyo bana.
Maana paka wake akionekana akitokelezea pale mtaani, paka yuko na machain za gold bana. Sasa hizi pete sijui anavalishwa upande gani?
Wewe unavalisha paka pete? Maisha imekufikisha hapo.
Ndio dondoo magazetini this beautiful morning. Kwa mpigo tena zaidi, standby tukufahamishe ni gani ambao unatarajia ikifika mida ya 1 kamili East African Time.
Dondoo magazetini. Radio 47 104.3 Bungoma. Hapa ndipo. Radio 47 inavuma kwa mamilioni ya wasikilizaji na followers kwenye mitandao. Masafa mengi zaidi nchini, teknolojia ya kisasa na celebrities wa haiba. Sasa basi, tunakupa fursa ya kutangaza bidhaa, huduma na events. Wasiliana nasi katika 0712 047.
Continue with some news updates here. A new report by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, ESCC, has exposed entrenched graft within the National Police Service, ranking traffic police officers as the most corrupt in the country. The report highlights deep governance weaknesses and calls for urgent reforms to build public trust. Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja has assured that the service is taking action to curb corruption. Samira Mohammed reports.
The latest ESCC Corruption Index has ranked the National Police Service as the most corrupt institution in the country.
We will support the efforts that have been established by the ESCC so that we can come out of these findings that always the police is number 1 or 2 in the index of corruption. It's only by so doing and commitment that we all need to ensure that we have a steadfast police.
With a damning report ranking traffic police officers as the most corrupt unit within the service. The report has also raised concerns about officers transferred from traffic units without undergoing disciplinary processes, noting that such practices could undermine public confidence and the effectiveness of law enforcement. In the report, the recruitment of police constables was also flagged for bribery, political interferences and discriminatory advertisements, while some candidates were eliminated arbitrarily. A concern the Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja, has vowed to address in the upcoming recruitment.
These officers that we expect to recruit, we have high hopes on them, that they are also coming in as reformers, not only, looking for a job within the policing service, but also coming in as reformers within the service, because the service requires reforms.
The report also exposed how police officers were transferred without approval of the National Police Service Commission or deployed as punishment for declining sexual advances from superiors. Even as the police service tops in corruption, the ESCC reports paints a mixed picture, acknowledging progress in some areas while exposing serious lapses in governance, recruitment, human resource management and operational procedures. Samira Mohammed for TV 47, Nairobi.
Chaos rocked the National Assembly yesterday afternoon as lawmakers passed the controversial government-owned enterprises bill, paving the way for the privatization of 67 state parastatals. The bill was introduced through a supplementary order paper, sparking outrage from opposition MPs who claimed it was rushed without proper quorum. Deputy Minority Whip Robert Mboi led the protests, accusing the executive of controlling Parliament and calling for its dissolution.
I am uncomfortable with the manner in which the Deputy Speaker managed the House today afternoon. There was no reason for her to deny us an opportunity to stand on a point of order. And two, the majority leader cannot be given leeway every day to insult leaders. Not only is he insulting leaders that are in the House, but he's also insulting our leaders that are not in the House. And we all know that he has to bring a substantive motion to mention some of our leaders. But every single day he gets opportunity, he must insult someone. And I think it's something he's learning from his master, the president. He's behaving like he's a prefect of a school. Every day admonishing leaders, every day insulting people. Kimani Ichung'wah, you must style up. I think it is unfortunate that even when you know very well that we don't have the numbers, when we raise on a point of order, you know that is the law, you know those are the standing orders, the supporters, but you, because you have the privilege of being majority leader and having that ability to be given opportunity to speak almost every time he stands up to open his mouth, he says things that are unpalatable. And I want to say that even if we go back to the House after 5 days, this war is not going to stop.
Being a majority leader, wacha kuwa na kiburi. Stop your bravado. It will not get you anywhere. And pushing, keep on pushing the speaker. Usiwapatie nafasi. We also have a right. As much as you have a right, you have the first right. The deputy minority leader has also a right to speak in the absence of the minority leader.
Tensions flared once again in Kasipul constituency after DCI officers fired in the air to disperse supporters of ODM candidate Boyd Were. The officers had reportedly gone to arrest suspects linked to recent violence, but were met with resistance. Were has accused the officers of harassment and political intimidation ahead of the upcoming by-election. Sydney Chazima reports.
Kasipul constituency is once again serving another episode of drama. This time, officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, on Wednesday found themselves in a tight spot at the home of ODM's Kasipul constituency candidate, Boyd Were. The officers pictured here were on a mission they believed would lead to the capture of several suspects linked to the violence that recently claimed the lives of 2 people in Nyalenda sub-county.
Following our intelligence, were pursuing the accused or the suspects who are cited at Kwasele. But when they realized that officers were on their pursuit, they left towards Oyugis. So later they were realized to have entered to the homestead of one of our aspirants.
But upon approaching, irate supporters of Were confronted them.
The officers encountered very harsh resistance from young men who were armed with crude weapons.
According to Homa Bay County Police Commander Lawrence Koilem, the officers were then forced to defend themselves.
Because of that injuries, and to at least make sure they were not injured further, they had to fire at least some blanks to the air.
But Boyd Were alleges foul play.
They brought commotion, a lot of tension. Residents were not happy. The same our former member of parliament was killed through political assassination. How will the residents feel when they hear gunshots at the same compound of the member of parliament? It's so unfortunate. All we are seeing is theatrics. They barge into someone's compound, fire gunshots. It's not fair at all.
According to Were, the DCI officers were on a blind fishing mission and no one was hiding at his residence.
He indicated that they were looking for someone here. But my question is, the DCI, they have the resources, they have the machinery. If they were unsure of the person they wanted if he was in our compound. It was simple. They will just inform us, give us a notice. No. We will allow them to search. Because at the end of the day, they came, fired gunshots all over. There were women in the compound. The residents were there. It brought tension. At the end of the day, they didn't arrest anyone because the person they were looking for was not here. So does it mean that the DCI are incompetent?
The police, however, maintained that their intelligence was accurate and that the suspects were rescued by the angry mob at Boyd's home. The intense race to succeed the late Charles Ongondo Were is once again pitting Philip Aroko against the Were family. And Boyd Were, just like his father, is accusing Aroko of playing it dirty.
Mr. Philip Aroko, there's no point of zoning areas. Everyone has a right. The other time, he was next to our home here. He campaigned peacefully, without any disruptions. So now when it's time for Boyd Were to campaign, there are disruptions. They want to disrupt our rallies, and at the end of the day now they'll act as victims on social media.
But even as the election D-Day approaches in a fortnight, the police maintain that they will stop at nothing in their pursuit of the suspects behind the tragic events in Nyalenda sub-county. Sydney Chazima, TV47.
All right, time for us to take a short break. Morning Cafe will be back and we'll be discussing matters to do with reclaiming cultural identity.